What is going on to all you beautiful people on YouTube? Welcome back to JellyGoonTV. Welcome back to all you beautiful people, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. It really means a lot, and I appreciate you guys and girls. Today we have another comment request right here, and this is from Nikita Banchuk. Hi, react please to Napoleon invasion of Russia 1812 by Epic History. Now I know there's other guys and girls who recommended this video right now we're gonna react to, and I'm so sorry I didn't get to you guys and girls, but there are so many videos that I have to keep up on, and I'm trying my best, I really am. Later on when we get more subscribers and I'm actually trying to earn money for this, I want to get an employee that is actually cutting out these texts and getting the video so I don't have to do it myself, so I can, focus on other things. But for now, it's just me who's stuck here, and we're trying to evolve the channel to whatever we're trying to do. But without further ado, let's get into this one. And it's 20 minutes long, guys and girls, so please grab some popcorn, grab some cola, be with me, and see my reaction to this beautiful video. Also, if you first time you watch it, it's an honor to watch it with you. But let's just get into it. Let's go. One must never ask more from fortune than she can grant. True? Alright.
Russia, 1812.
Oh, I love that voice.
Napoleon invades his
ally. Man, what a backstabber. White Russia.
Has ever seen.
Smolensk?
But for the French Emperor, the decisive blow remains frustratingly beyond reach. Russia's resilience is unlike anything he's ever encountered.
I could believe that. They some dedicated soldiers.
Closes in.
They some dedicated soldiers.
The most infamous retreat in history.
Let me pause. Yeah, because when you fuck with Russia, I think Napoleon witnessed this and the Germany's witnessed this. There's a winter. There's a big ass winter that's coming on the border right there. So yeah, good luck with the invading Russia. I think that's the history. I remember that was the history, right? That Napoleon fell into the wind or something, but let's just get into it. Let's see it. But it's kind of crazy to invade a country that you know is going to get cold. Just let it be, man. If the soldiers come to your state, just boom. But hey, it's strategic. I know. I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's go. Napoleon, Russia, Part 1, invasion. Uh-oh. He's getting ready to invade, right? Oh, he did.
In 1807,
that little guy.
Following his defeat of the Russian army at Friedland, Napoleon had traveled to to meet the Russian Emperor Alexander. During their celebrated encounter,
they kiss?
The two emperors formed a friendship and made an alliance.
Yeah, kissing. Good job.
Not to last.
Okay.
Over the next 5 years, relations between France and Russia cooled dramatically.
Oh shit.
The Russians were irritated by Napoleon's creation of a Duchy of Warsaw in Poland, which they regarded as meddling in their own front yard.
Yeah, exactly.
They feared it would lead to the return of a fully fledged Polish state, a traditional thorn in Russia's side. Then there was Napoleon's offer to marry Alexander's sister, Grand Duchess Anna Pavlovna, to cement their alliance. But the Romanovs hated the idea.
Yeah, of course.
After a year of Russian prevarication, Napoleon married Marie-Louise, daughter of the Austrian emperor, instead.
Okay.
Later that year, Napoleon broke against
Denmark
Tilsit and annexed the Duchy of Oldenburg, ruled by Alexander's sister's father-in-law. Worst of all was the fallout over the continental system. Napoleon's not very effective economic blockade against Britain, designed to cripple his most steadfast enemy. Alexander
your English scoundrel. Shiver my temper, Sarah.
Was hugely unpopular in Russia.
Yeah.
Ruinous to her finances during a period of economic crisis.
Uh-oh.
When Napoleon found out that Russia was flouting the rules of the system and had resumed an illicit trade with Britain, he was furious.
Of course, because France and Great Britain hated each other.
Of bad faith, their two countries began preparing for war.
Let me just pause here, man. You guys just kissed. Now you better make up your goddamn mind. This is like a relationship on marriage, man. This is like, don't kiss if you don't know it's gonna go right. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it. Like it's gonna be the kiss of death somehow. This guy's gonna try to kill this guy and this guy. So they were gays back then. I understood. Most of the leaders were gay, I think. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Relax. But let's just get into this, man. Just saying they kissed. That's weird. Back then, it was weird. Let's go. I'm gonna get in trouble for that because gay people think I hate them. I don't.
By our sponsor,
Uh-oh.
Curiosity Stream, home of more than 2,500 documentaries
Nice.
exploring science, technology,
Ooh.
the natural world, history, and more. In fact, there are so many fascinating topics to choose from, sometimes you just have to dive in.
Yeah, true. That's what I'm doing right now.
Worried about humanity's
I have my beautiful subscribers and people to choose the videos that I'm watching. It's awesome. I really do like when you choose out the history. It's nice. It's very nice.
Million years ago, following the Permian extinction,
Oh, wow.
which we learned this month watching the excellent Breakthrough Recovering from Extinction on Curiosity Stream. There are many other high-end documentaries like this waiting to inform and entertain you on Curiosity Stream,
Nice.
which is available worldwide and an online subscription.
Definitely go check this out, man. This is awesome.
Remember to use
If you're interested in it.
History TV at sign up to get your first 30 days free.
I'm not gonna cut this out because I really do want to promote this because it's like getting new science and get your facts straight and get all these things, you know? It's nice. As Till said, Russia swore an internal alliance with France. Now to break her oath, does she believe in denigrator? You're no longer the soldiers of Austerlitz. Napoleon's Blutzen, okay?
Napoleon knew an invasion of Russia was a massive undertaking, especially as he still had an unfinished war in Spain.
Yeah.
And was tying down more than 200,000 troops. Nevertheless, in 1811,
Spain people
he
are good,
began to
man.
assemble the largest army Europe had ever seen.
Uh-oh.
Around 600,000 men, though less than half of them were French. The rest came from allied states across Europe.
Yeah, of course.
A Polish corps from the Duchy of Warsaw, led by Prince Poniatowski. A corps from each of the German kingdoms of Saxony, Westphalia, and Bavaria. From the Kingdom of Italy, as well as Swiss, Dutch, Croat, Spanish, and Portuguese units scattered throughout the army. There were even contingents from Prussia and Austria, France's recent enemies, now uneasy allies. Some of these allied troops, such as the Poles and Germans, were as reliable as their French counterparts. Others were very inexperienced, or, like the Prussians and Austrians, reluctant to be there at all. This gigantic
They were? Oh,
was
okay.
deployed in 3 armies. The main force under Napoleon himself, another led by his
217,000 men.
by his younger brother, King of Westphalia.
Russia, come on! Beat his ass!
Experienced commanders.
Russia's gonna come like, ay!
Distinguished himself on campaign.
What are you senoritas doing here?
On their left flank, Marshal MacDonald led 10th
I'm gonna say, Bruska, Shalamuta, whatever they're gonna say, man. They gonna fuck your ass up.
by General Schwarzenberg's Austrian.
Oh, Mother Nature's gonna do it for you, I
Over
think.
100,000 troops were in reserve,
Let me just pause here. Let me just recognize a real beautiful country over there. Just watch that country over there, man. If you pay attention, right? If you see, look at Denmark. Look at Denmark. What does it look like? It looks like Batman. Don't believe me? Search it on Google. Search it on Google. Denmark looks like this part over here, like this part over here. Or here, I think it is, yeah. This part over here is look like Batman. Just trust me on that one. Search it on Google and you will to find. Trust me, you will never look at Denmark the same again. I look at Batman when I look at Denmark. It's crazy. Anyway, sidetrack. Let's go. Beautiful country.
Victor's 9th Corps.
Alright. 33 soldiers is a lot, though.
Only had 220,000 men to face.
But they have a lot of, like, opposition. They're strong in one side and not strong in another side. But
Prince Bagration's 2nd Army and General Tomasov's 3rd Army. They would be outnumbered
yeah.
2 to 1.
That doesn't really mean anything.
Up to war, Russia scored 2 crucial diplomatic triumphs. Sweden had been at war with Russia just 3 years earlier, a conflict which cost her Finland. By a curious turn of events, Sweden was now ruled by Napoleon's ex-marshal Bernadotte. But after Napoleon occupied Swedish Pomerania without warning, a furious Bernadotte promised Russia that Sweden would remain neutral. Meanwhile, a peace treaty with the Ottoman Empire ended Russia's 6-year war against its southern rival.
Oh, okay.
These
Russia is huge.
Russia's flanks from any strategic threat, and freed up troops to face Napoleon's invasion.
I'm about to embrace on the greatest and most difficult enterprise I ever attempted to what has been begun to carry through. Now, it doesn't really mean that you have more soldier that you're gonna win. It depends on your commanders. Just saying, it depends on your commanders. Good leadership.
Crossing the Niemen River into Russian territory. The army was so large, the crossing took 5 days.
What? That's a large ass army.
Napoleon's plan was to attack north of the impassable Pripet marshes and defeat Barclay's army, while Jerome pinned Bagration in place. French forces would then swing south to trap Bagration. Napoleon expected the campaign to be over in 5 weeks.
Russia don't mess like that.
The size of the French army convinced the cautious Barclay that retreat was his only option. Prince Bagration, a much more aggressive commander by instinct, and often Barclay's fierce critic, was forced to agree. As they withdrew, they burned villages and crops, part of a scorched earth strategy to deny supplies to the enemy. In 4 days, Napoleon had reached Vilnius, but Barclay was gone. To the south, Jerome failed to pin down Bagration. So when Davout's First Corps swung southeast to trap him, he'd already withdrawn to safety.
Good strategy.
Napoleon's younger brother was out of his depth. Stung by the Emperor's criticism, humiliated when his troops were put under Marshal Davout's command, he resigned his post and returned to Westphalia. The campaign was already beginning to expose serious flaws in Napoleon's plan. Knowing his troops would struggle to live off the land in this impoverished region, he'd organized huge supply depots and transport units to feed the army. But wagons rolled slowly along Russia's bad roads, which were turned to rivers.
That's crazy. Sometimes it's good to not have a good infrastructure.
The army had to make frequent stops to allow its supplies to catch up. Bad news for Napoleon's plan to catch the Russians, but a much-needed relief for the many thousands of young conscripts in his army, not used to hard marches day after day. Many were soon dropping out with exhaustion. Others deserted. There were also huge problems of command and control over a vast multinational army that was 3 times bigger than any Napoleon had commanded before.
That's a problem. That's a huge problem.
The Grande Armée, once famed for its speed of maneuver, had become a lumbering beast.
Let me just pause here. Now, when you have a big army, you're supposed to have moral support for them. That means moral support is resources. You're supposed to plan everything. You're supposed to look like a commander or a chief that has control of everything. You know what I mean? It's a mind game when you have with a military to do, because if you look weak or you look like something, people, they're gonna be like, man, what the fuck are we fighting for even? I'm gonna desert this shit. You know, country and either, if they love their country or not, it doesn't really matter, because they will do it anyway. But, you know, it's hard to have a large army with all the supplies and everything, but let's keep moving. Let's go.
After a pause to rest and regroup at Vilnius, Napoleon resumed his advance. Barclay continued his retreat to Vitebsk, where he hoped Bagration's Second Army would be able to join him. But Davout blocked Bagration's path at Sultanovka, forcing him to make for Smolensk instead. At Vitebsk, Napoleon clashed with Barclay's rearguard, but once more the Russians escaped, after setting fire to all the stores they couldn't take with them. Meanwhile, 300 miles away, on Napoleon's southern flank, Russian Third Army attacked and defeated the Saxon 7th Corps, forcing Napoleon to divert Schwarzenberg's Austrian Corps to their aid.
Exactly. Of course, this is strategy.
By the end of July, Napoleon had advanced 250 miles into Russia, much further than he'd planned. And the long days in extreme summer heat continued to take a heavy toll on his men.
Of course.
Without fighting a major battle, the army had already suffered 20% casualties from exhaustion and illness, particularly typhus and dysentery. The army had entered Russia with 250,000 horses, but they were now dying at a rate of 1,000 every day. Let
me pause there. I don't know if that was planned or it was just lucky, but if I was a commander in the military. I would know my own country. I would know the weather and all these things. Now, deceased you can of course not count with, but you can count with the heat and all these things. And it's probably a good strategy. That's why he withdrew all the time, because he wanted further and further into Russia. Like 250 kilometers, that's a long way to give up land just for a fight, you know? But I think it was planned. I think it was a plan to, you know, I think they have scouts everywhere to see the supplies, when the supplies come and everything. Look, these military people are not stupid. They're gonna, you know, integrate everything. They're gonna scout everything, like, see what's going on, you know what I mean? Because that big of an army cannot to count everything. Like, there are some scouts that are gonna come in and out, and that's just how it is. Information of war, of course. But it's just crazy to see, man, that they probably reported back that the supplies are not getting there in time, and that the soldiers, they look weak. So they just go back and say, just withdraw them a little bit, and then push them in. That's crazy, man. Let's get into it.
From exhaustion and lack of fodder.
Fodder?
It wasn't just cavalry horses that were dying, but the very horses that were supposed to haul the army's transport.
Oh, shit.
Situation worse.
Oh my god.
This crisis in horsepower came just as the French light cavalry, Napoleon's eyes and ears, met their match in Russia's Cossacks.
Uh-oh. If Napoleon's bad Cossacks in his army, they would have been imperial long ago. What?
Cossacks.
This is fucked up the Cossacks.
Proud, ruthless, and superb horsemen didn't play by the same rules as other European cavalry. Every day they shadowed Napoleon's army, swooping in whenever they saw an easy target.
Yeah, of course.
But melting away into the forests if they were attacked by a stronger force. Cossacks, as well as Russian partisans, made hit-and-run attacks on French supply lines and depots.
You see what I'm saying?
Forcing Napoleon to divert thousands of troops to their defense.
That's a good strategy.
Alongside Russian regular light cavalry, they also prevented French patrols from carrying out reconnaissance, which meant that Napoleon often lacked good information about roads or the enemy's whereabouts.
That's a good strategy.
16 days at Vitebsk, resting his troops and considering his options. Among his many mounting concerns was the security of his long, exposed flanks. But at Vitebsk, he received news that Schwarzenberg had defeated the Russians at Gorodezhna. A week later at Polotsk, a French Bavarian force fought Wittgenstein's Russian First Corps to a standstill. Napoleon's flanks were secure for now. Although his main force had been reduced to less than half its original strength, Napoleon decided to push on to Smolensk and try to force the Russians into a decisive battle for the city. Barclay was indeed under pressure to give battle from fellow commander Prince Bagration and Emperor Alexander in St. Petersburg. The army's morale and Russia's honor required it, they told him.
Oh, nice. I like this.
With the first and second Russian armies finally linking up near Smolensk, Barclay decided to attack Napoleon's army, which he believed was concentrated around Rudnya. The offensive was led by General Platov's Cossacks, who surprised a French cavalry division at Inkova. But alarmed by false reports,
yeah, of course.
that Russia's Fourth Corps was outflanking him to the north, Barclay called off the attack. Napoleon, reassured that Barclay's offensive posed no real threat, began a grand outflanking move to the south to take Smolensk and cut off the Russian retreat. The so-called
That's a good strategy.
maneuver was Napoleon at his best, using Murat's cavalry to screen his movements.
You have to see that come, man.
Reached the Dnieper on the evening of the 13th of August. His engineers quickly threw up 4 pontoon bridges, and by dawn the next day, his army was across. Marshal Davout led a second column across the river at Orsha. But a single Russian division, the 27th, fought a heroic fighting retreat from Krasny, delaying the French advance and buying time for Bagration to reinforce the Smolensk.
Nice. Good job, man.
The chance for a surprise assault on the city was lost. And as the Russian army began to pull back, Napoleon displayed an uncharacteristic lack of urgency, even halting the army for a parade to mark his 43rd birthday. When the main attack on Smolensk began 2 days later, Napoleon opted for a frontal assault. 150 French guns battered the city as 3 French corps attacked its medieval fortifications. The Russians resisted bravely, but Barclay, fearing encirclement, ordered another retreat. With Smolensk in flames, the Russians began to pull out. Just as the French fought their way into the city, to scenes of utter devastation. Bagration's Second Army withdrew first. As Barclay's army followed, its rearguard was caught by Ney's Third Corps at Valutino. General Junot, commanding the Westphalian 8th Corps,
That's crazy.
had orders to cut off Barclay's retreat. But having crossed the river, he did nothing.
What?
The opportunity was lost.
Are you kidding me?
Furious Napoleon swore that Junot would never now win his marshal's baton. The Battle of Smolensk cost both sides around 10,000 casualties and destroyed one of Russia's most historic and holy cities, but settled nothing.
Before a month is out, we should be in Moscow. In 6 weeks, we should have peace. Napoleon, relax, calm down.
After the missed chance to defeat the Russians at Smolensk, Napoleon paused once more to consider his options. His men were weary and far from home, and it was already late in the campaigning season. He considered sitting out the Russian winter at Smolensk and resuming the campaign in 1813.
Please don't.
But now he was just 230 miles from Moscow. A century earlier, Peter the Great had moved Russia's capital to St. Petersburg, but Moscow remained its historic and spiritual heart, a prize for which the Russians had to fight.
Wow.
Napoleon, always a gambler,
Yeah.
decided to push on.
He probably is,
The
man.
Russians faced their own dilemma. Emperor Alexander had experienced a kind of religious epiphany that summer and rallied the Russian people to the country's defense, describing the war with Napoleon as a war to save Holy Mother Russia from the Antichrist. For months, the emperor had received conflicting advice to stand and fight or retreat. Now he decided change was needed. The cautious General Barclay kept his job, but the emperor summoned General Mikhail Kutuzov to take overall command of Russia's armies.
Okay.
Kutuzov had been beaten by Napoleon at Austerlitz 7 years before, but he'd since won several victories against the Ottoman Empire and was a true Russian, loved by the troops.
Nice, good job.
Although Kutuzov agreed with Barclay's strategy of delay, he saw that constant retreats were destroying the soldiers and the nation's morale.
True.
If Moscow was given up without a battle, the fallout could be disastrous.
Yeah, true. The soldiers need to feel that they gained
West of
something.
the city,
That's why.
near the village of Borodino, the Russian army prepared to make a stand.
It's a good job, man.
Europe was about to witness the bloodiest day's fighting of the Napoleonic Wars.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Thank you to all our Patreon supporters for making this series possible. Visit our Patreon page to find out how you too can support the channel, get exclusive updates, ad-free early access, and help us to choose.
Alright, let me pause here, man. That's crazy, man. Big shout out to this epic history, man. It's very nice. Wow. I did not even know that Napoleon was that far into Russia. I just think he took the flanks, like he took the little quarters of Russia. I didn't even know he was that close to get it. Like, I never heard of that. That is amazing. But of course, Napoleon is gonna feel the wrath of Russia. Like the wrath of the winter, the wrath of the heat. It's just crazy, man. But the Moscow is a bloody battle. The bloodiest in Napoleon. That's crazy, man. That's really crazy. But I really dig this video. It was very interesting. Maybe because I didn't say that much at the end or in the middle. It's because it's so amazing this. I love to watch these videos. I really do. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for that request, and thank you to the other ones who also request this. I really do appreciate it. I really do, man. That was an amazing history. Just the Russian troops. And of course the Russian troops are missing morale. Like they're missing that. You know what I mean? Because they're losing up countries all day long. That's why. Soldiers can enter fight if they lose every single battle or they're trying to retreat. That's why. Don't retreat. Make a stand. Make a stand if they're too long into your countries. Make a stand. It's all or nothing. That's why. And that's what I like this general that just came up right now. He got the morale of the soldiers, and soldiers liked him too. So yeah, that's amazing, man. An amazing video. I really dig it. 20 minutes, it feels like 5 minutes, really, to be honest. It really does, because it's so interesting. I really hope that you guys react to this video and you feel it interesting too, because I really do love Russian history. Very interesting. As I say, you can send me a link down in the comment about every country that you want. And it's massively appreciated if you comment and you know, request a reaction video. It's very nice. It's very nice. So yeah. But anyway, guys, if you like this video, please hit the like button down below, and please do subscribe to the channel if you want to show support to the channel. We are searching for 500 subscribers. We at 109 now. We just lost 2, but never mind. I understand if the channel is nothing for you with the videos that I keep uploading. I understand, but you know, I'm just trying. I love to do this, so I'm just uploading whenever I want. I really don't have an upload schedule, so don't mind that. And if there's some videos that you don't like to watch, don't watch them. But guys, I'm gonna move on into the next video. I love you so much, man. Peace.